Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and into Power Apps Code App series. In all the previous video, you have seen that we have connected the Power Apps Code Apps with Outlook, we have connected with SharePoint, we have connected with Dataverse, we have seen how to do different kind of CRUD operations using all this data source which is available. But because we are talking about Power Apps, eventually, and everything depends on the connectors and the connections which are available. Ideally, it makes sense that we explore more connectors which are available and how to basically use that connectors into Power Apps Code. So in today's video, we are going to explore how we can use Microsoft Teams connector inside Code Apps to retrieve basically Teams and channel information and display it in the UI. And if you think about it, this would be very real world use case, right? Because eventually, if you are building a Code Apps and if you are going to build an app for your user within the organization, you might want to get data from different data source which is available, and that data source might not be always a persistent or a custom database where you are storing the data like Dataverse or SQL or anything, right? It can be basically really the other products also within Microsoft 365 which has to be used. So this is going to be one of the example, and we will learn how we can add the Microsoft 365 Teams connector as a data source. So let's get started. So as this is going to be a walkthrough kind of video, first we need to understand is the prerequisite to set up the Power Apps for apps, right? With the npm CLI, these are the high level steps which you have to follow. Once you create, you can basically download the template by using the npx ticket command and get the base project structure being created. Then you can run the npm install so that all the node modules are initialized. Then you can run the npm power apps init command, which is going to ask you the environment ID. It is going to ask you the app name and everything. And once that is done, it means that the project structure would be ready. And after that, whatever you do would be based on the use case which is there. The other three commands, npm run dev is to test your app locally. npm run build is to basically build the app, and then mpx power apps push is to basically push the application into your Power Platform environment, right? So this is the base step which you needs to be which you need to execute. You just need to make sure that this has been set up. And what we are going to see is we are going to see that how we can basically add the data source, and then we are going to see how we can basically get the or use the right methods to get the teams and the channels data and display it in the UI, right? So I already have the project structure or the app which is there. Let me do one thing. Let me first run and show you the demo what we have built, and then I'll just walk you through that, right? So yes, this has been done, and npm run dev is the command. And then once you come here and run it in the browser, you would be able to see that it is so okay. So what I did is I basically kind of created a landing screen here because I wanted to use the same project base for my future videos also, wherein we are going to explore different samples, and this is the first one of them which I'm integrating in the same code base. So if you see here, this is just a static UI where it says that we are going to basically see a demo about how we can connect Microsoft Teams. Once you will click on view demo, this is where within a particular connector, if we wanted to explore a few other scenarios or use cases, this is where we are going to add it here. And in this first one, what we are going to do is we are going to basically fetch the teams and the channels, right? So once you click on fetch teams, if you see here what it did, it has basically make the API call by using the Microsoft 365 connector. And for the current logged in user, it has found there are two teams which are there, binary roots and demo tenant 1. And when you will export one of them, it is going to go and find the channels also, right? Same for the demo team 1, it is going to go and find the channel for that particular teams. Okay, so this is in a way a hello world for the Microsoft Teams, because if you talk about Microsoft Teams, the base and the bare minimum thing it would be that you are part of some of the teams and you're part of some of the channels. And what we want to do is we wanted to kind of get that data, and once we get the data, we wanted to display it into some particular format, right? So this is basically the demo, and now let's see how we have, kind of build it. Okay, so first and foremost thing is you need to make sure that you have the connection being created into your targeted solution, right? So this is the target solution, sorry, environment which we have. What I did is, first thing is you need to go and create a Teams connection to make sure that the connection is available. This is pretty much standard of what you used to do. You just need to click on create, and it's going to ask you for the consent and everything, and then the connection would be created. Now, once you have connection, this is where you need basically two information, right? Typically, adding a data source to an existing project, what you need to do is you need to basically run a command called as mpx add data source. And what it will do is it is going to basically, sorry, what it is, let me find out. Okay, I have it somewhere in my history, so let's go and find it from the history. Yes. So it is mpx power apps at data source. Okay, this is not documented anywhere. So again, this would be very helpful for the people. But this is going to do an interactive this thing. Okay, so as soon as I will click on the add data source, what it will do is it is going to ask me first the environment ID. Now and then sorry, the API ID, which is nothing but based on the connection which you are trying to do. For example, it would be shared teams, shared underscore Office 365, shared underscore SharePoint, and all of that, right? So that is basically the API ID through which it identifies that what type of connector it is. And you just put it as shared teams. And then what do you do is, I'm going to probably put some dummy one. And then it says, are you using connection reference instead of connection ID? This is to make sure that if you are using a solution, then you can say yes to it, and then you can provide the connection reference. But for simplicity, I am just using a standalone connection, not a connection reference as part of the solution. So I will just say no, and then it is going to ask me some connection IDs, and which I'm going to put. Okay, I'm going to put any dummy data, but ideally the connection ID should be the ID which you are going to come and put it, copy it from the URL itself. Okay, now once you will copy it from the URL, what it will do is it will try to basically make some API calls and find what the connector is and what it is not. In this case, because I had given some dummy environment and the dummy names and everything, it won't be able to get it, and you can see the error. But if you will give the right API ID and right connection ID, what it will do is it is going to go ahead and create a folder within the source which is called as generated. Okay, and this is what it has done here. You can see there is a model file which is basically kind of uh, all the classes which it can use basically to make the actual to support the service class. Basically, generally when we do any kind of typical web-based application, we have a service class, we also would have a model class, so that we can use that model as a class object to hold the data whenever it would be required, right? And when you see Microsoft Teams service.ts, this is where you would see all the available actions or the methods which are there into Microsoft 365 connector. And you can very much relate this to if you are going into a Power Automate flow or into Power Apps, and if you are going to say Microsoft Teams, all these connections would be available. Okay, all these actions would be available. So if you would have been doing it from your Power Platform Canvas app, what you would do is, right, you would typically basically filter it out, and you can use any methods like get teams, get channels, pass the dynamic parameters which are available, and based on that you are going to get the data. So same thing happened. The command has generated all the code method for us and the service method for us, and now it is up to basically call this method from our React component so that we can get data. Right now, as I said, in this particular example, what we are going to do is we are going to basically find the get the user teams and the channel associated with the teams, right? So this is the method which is in question, which is get all teams. And what we are going to do is we are going to get all the teams from here, And then what we are going to do is, then after we get the teams, we are going to get channels for a particular team, right? Whenever the user is going to expand a particular team, we are going to get channel for that team, and we are going to make this API call. So this is the simple way of getting the teams and getting the channel. So these two methods are in question, right? Now coming to the UI, as I said that I am going to use the same project structure for all the future samples also. I do have a landing page which I have created, and in the landing page what we have is, we have basically the HTML which you have seen on the top here, right? If I go back, and this is what you are seeing. uh, this is all of this is static, right? And it basically had a, I mean, I don't wanted to copy paste, so what I did, I used a JSON connector, okay, and this is done using vibe coding itself. But basically there is a JSON object where it says what the character is about, what is the description, what icon, what accent color, what features which we are going to add. So in future, if I wanted to add any other, what I can do is I can just copy paste this, so that the cards would be dynamic in nature, right? So this is just the landing page, okay, which might not be in your case. And then you have a real component file, which is basically for the Microsoft Teams demo. So for all the future connectors which I'm going to do is, I'm going to create similar component file, and within that component file, we will have different use cases or different samples of the actions within Microsoft Teams connector, which we want to do, right? So in this case, we are talking about Teams and the channel. So here, let's start with understanding the HTML first, right? And then we will see how we are going to get the data. So this is basically the header text, okay, which you have when you click on view, which is basically Teams connector, and it logs the current user teams and channels, right? And then what do you have is, you have basically your first section, or the first use case which is there, which is to fetch the teams channels and everything, right? And on click of fetch teams, what it is going to do is, it is going to basically call this method called as fetch teams. Now this is the important method, because what, as I said, what we need to do is, we need to make the call to the service class, right? The first thing is, you have to import the service class file, and also you need to import the model, because eventually the get team response and get channel response are basically part of the model, which is going to tell you what attributes are being returned as part of the response API. Now you have a common you have an interface here, which is basically teams channel. And then what do you have is, within the fetch teams, we are first making the first API call, which is get all teams, okay? And whatever result we got, we are basically keeping it in the result, right? And then what we are doing is, we are setting it as setting it in the state object, right? We are setting all the teams in the state object, and when we are putting it there in the state object. Now second thing is that and then there are some loading and unloading methods, which is very common. Now what you need to do is, second thing is that user needs, once we got the teams, we need to loop through the teams, and we need to list down the teams, right? So this is what you are seeing. Once I click on fetch teams, this is going to display this binary use and demo team one. So this is done from ULLI, okay, from here. And then within the LI, which is basically one team, we also need to display the channels, okay? So this whole HTML block is to basically display the channels and everything. Okay. And typically, if you want to do a simple HTML, that is also okay. I just wanted to make little bit attractive, and by using AI, I just asked him to basically kind of create the expand collapse experience, like the way you see it in Microsoft Teams. But this is just based on your logic. What do you want to put it here? Okay, this whole display is for the channels and everything, right? Now, another thing we have to understand is that as soon as the user is going to click on the any particular team, right, or the arrow, then it needs to basically expand and get the channel. So that is what is been done from here. So if you see here, there is a button, and within button we have a method called toggle team. What it is doing is, if it is already expanded, it is just going to get the data or display the data from the local and put it. And then what it will do is, it is going to basically, if not, then it is going to go and make the API. So second method which we are going to call is get channel for a group. It means it is going to list all the channels for a specific team. where you are passing the group ID, which is nothing but the team ID, and then you are getting the response back. So again, you are just calling this method, which is an auto-generated method. And once you get the result, you are setting the teams also, and you are setting the channels also, right? So within teams itself, you are basically keeping it. So we don't have a separate object variable for channels and everything. We have one common method, which is teams. Within teams, we have channels. So what we are doing is we are setting the teams method object by appending all the channels which we got in there, so that we can keep it. Okay. Wherein you can basically expand both. You don't have to just expand one at a time, so that the data is there in the local. So this is how the channel method channels are been got from the team and been displayed here. Now, another thing to understand here is that you would have some loading, some error handling, some variable to set when to show loading, when to show not loading. All of that is done, which I'll not go into detail, but this is typically how a React application would basically be based on. Okay. Just before we end, wanted to also see and explain that, okay, you can see here that we have many different methods and actions which are available, which can be used using the similar pattern. What you need to do is you basically need to create or call the methods which are available, right? For example, if you wanted to create a channel, right? So in that case, what you need to do is you need to call this create channel method. You need to pass the group ID, you need to pass the body. Now, this body might be something wherein you would need to also pass the channel name, the channel description, and the owner, and all of that. So that you will already know. It would be very much typical to have you do it while you are calling this as an action in the Power Automate or Power Apps. But yes, all that what is possible using the drag and drop features within Power Automate, Power Apps itself. Same thing is also possible in the CRUD apps. Okay, like for example, if you wanted to send a message, if you wanted to get the chats, if you wanted to post a reply to a message, all the actions are available. You just need to use this method, pass the required parameters, and that would be called using this thing. Okay, and as I already said, the good thing is it is using your connectors and default connections which are available within the Power App. So it is going to be very much security team. It is going to be delegated by using delegated permission. It is going to do so. If user will not have access to certain things, he won't be able to do it. But if the user has access to do certain things, he would be able to kind of do it. Okay. All right. So in this video, what we have learned, how we can use Microsoft Teams connector inside Codex to retrieve teams and channels and display them in a UI. Okay, we have seen what methods are available within the Microsoft Teams connector, how we can fetch the data dynamically from the current logged in user, how we can relate or load the channels for a particular team, and then probably display it in master detail style experience, so that you can basically view this data. So I hope this video was helpful and help you understand how we can basically use one more connector, Microsoft Teams, within the Codex. So if you find this video helpful, do like and subscribe and share it with the community, and follow me for other kind of videos, content related to Microsoft 365, Power Platform, Copilot, etc. Thank you. See you in the next video.